Hi, Year 11. I am practicing making some videos so that if we go to an online teaching forum, I am prepared. So I thought I'd take this opportunity to have a go myself at creating a task in response to one of the ransom prompts. I went through the practice topics and I've picked this one. And I picked it because I initially had no idea how I would go about it. So I thought that would be a really good opportunity for me to put myself in your shoes, to have a look at how I would break this down and to see if I could come up with a story. So the prompt is from Priam. When he set out on this business, he had understood quite clearly that he would be exposing himself to things he had not previously encountered. That was the price of the new. But as he sat now, with the golden taste of pancake in his mouth and another drop of wine on his lips, he saw that what was new could also be pleasurable. So, this is Priam when he has first left Troy with Somax, and they're having a little break by the riverbed, and Somax is telling him about the life of an ordinary man, and Priam is sort of removing himself from his kingly position and he's experiencing life as a peasant or as just an ordinary person, God forbid. So he's learning about himself here. He's learning that being challenged and being put in uncomfortable situations is actually what helps us grow and is actually a really good thing. So when I looked at this prompt initially, I knew that these were some of the key terms. So he was exposing himself to things he had never previously encountered. And I think this word here, exposing, is really interesting because exposing here means it's kind of got the idea of being threatened or being endangered by this new thing. So he's exposed, he's vulnerable. It's a price, I think, is important, that the price of growth is to be uncomfortable, but he's gaining some kind of pleasure out of it. It's actually a good thing that despite the discomfort, he's becoming more than he previously was. And then I got a little bit stuck because then I thought, all right, if those are the key things, what are some experiences that we have in life that are uncomfortable, that are opportunities for growth? Here are some of the things that I came up with. So initially, I thought maybe it's a man who's dating after a divorce or after being widowed, like that initial discomfort of throwing yourself back into a new situation. But maybe he has a companion, there's a spark there and he remembers that life can be good. Someone going to a friend's house for dinner who's from another culture. Don't love that idea, but I think that has some potential, the way that Priam is experiencing the life of a peasant, perhaps a person would be experiencing the life of a different culture or a different religion to their own and realizing that there's actually a lot of good in that. A historical perspective, a woman when she was first entering the workforce, like, in the 1940s and 50s, and how she's pushing the boundaries of her gender. But I think this is the idea that I'm actually going to pursue. So a man or woman the first night after bringing their newborn child home. For me, I think I'm going to do a female perspective simply because that's an experience that I can relate to because I'm female. I think that a male perspective would be equally valid here. The text Ransom deals with either a man or a woman in terms of their parenthood through Priam and through Hecuba. So I think either way, you're valid. Bringing a newborn child home as well, I think obviously goes into the hardships of parenthood, which clearly we experience through this text. So now that I have kind of settled on an idea, and can I say, that took me, I had to really sit and look at this prompt and really think about it. And you could perhaps think of some other situations where somebody, someone gone to a new school, has someone some kind of new experience where they're being challenged or pushed that may come from your own personal experience as well, that you can relate to, that kind of isn't within the realm of my life, that could be really interesting. Now that I've done that, I need to kind of plot where I'm going to take this story. So I spoke to you at school about plotting the orientation, introducing your characters and thinking about your setting and the problem, some kind of climax, and some kind of resolution that should be occurring at this time. This is like a little snapshot. Your piece isn't long enough to go into huge detail, but it's a snapshot of a moment where somebody is having this revelation. You're exploring the themes that Maloof is in Ransom. So you really should be planning. If you go into this kind of free falling, I think that you will kind of write yourself up against a wall. So have at least an idea of where you want to take it. So I'm going to think about my orientation, and I'm going to make it that it's a woman, and she's just been woken up. So she's just been woken up by her crying child. And she's nursing it. She's nursing it, and she is like completely sleep deprived. She's exhausted, and she's kind of confused. This newborn child is like this new experience, and she doesn't really feel equipped. She doesn't really feel up to it, and she knew that it was going to be hard, but she had no idea how hard it was going to be. I might play around with whether or not this is the first night. So I'm just going to give myself a question. The first night, or are we into the, I don't know, into a week, into the first week, month? I don't think I'll have her being single. I think I'll have her with her partner, but perhaps her partner's, he needs to sleep. He's going back to work and she's kind of stuck. So that would sort of probably mean that I'm going with the first month idea. And it's going to be like it's the middle of the night. Middle of the night. And my setting's going to pretty much be the kids' nursery. Middle of the night in the nursery. All right. Middle. Not sure there. I might go straight to my end. And at the end, she's going to, the baby might look up at her. So the child looks up at her, kind of weak smile, and her heart melts, and she realizes it's all worth it. Maybe in the middle, I was just thinking about there. I think I'm going to really hone in here on the idea of she's questioning herself. Is she really up to this? She's going to flash back to a maybe a fight with her husband. Some kind of conflict has occurred between her and her partner, and she is exhausted and a bit bitter, kind of angry at the baby for changing everything, angry at the baby for changing everything. But like we said over here, but change is good. She transforms. She learns, she has this moment where she's learning. So I think that what Maloof's themes, I just want to make sure I am actually addressing the task. So Maloof's themes, we're going to talk about parenthood. We're going to talk about the idea of change, change and transformation, and that hardship is hardship strengthens. Yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with that. I think that that's good. That somebody is having this moment of hardship, is questioning what she's doing. It's completely new, and to be honest, she doesn't feel equipped. Then she's really questioning herself. I'll use some of Malouf's techniques of flashbacks to give me a little bit more content as I go through. And then I'm going to end with it all kind of being worth it, of her finding pleasure within, some kind of pleasure within the hardship that she's going through. And here are my key themes. So I'm going to leave you here, and then I'm going to have a go at writing this up, and I will send you the final copy and you can let me know what you think. Cool. All right. Thanks. Bye.